Understand? Like, they exploit us because the Lord told us he would be jealous and angry if we disobeyed him.
That's right.
Imagine if all the Korean stores shut down because black women start doing their own hair. Or we go do each other's hair. Imagine all the nail salons, scrubbing feet and painting toes and hands was all owned by blacks and Hispanics. What would the Chinese and the Koreans do? What would they do? They only in your neighborhood because our oppressor didn't accept them into theirs. Understand? Like, they exploit us because the Lord told us he would be jealous and angry if we disobeyed him.
That's right.
Imagine if all the Korean stores shut down because black women start doing their own hair. Or we go do each other's hair. Imagine all the nail salons, scrubbing feet and painting toes and hands was all owned by blacks and Hispanics. What would the Chinese and the Koreans do? What would they do? They only in your neighborhood because our oppressor didn't accept them into theirs. After that civil rights bill got passed that black leaders marched and got black kids killed for, that civil rights bill is the reason that all of these other nations of people got brought into America. They weren't doing that before the civil rights bill. Off the blood, sweat, and tears of black children and college kids, that is how every nation of people came up, because we followed Martin Luther King to sin against God. Imagine that. Then you walk in their grocery store, Yagadah, and the Chinese man shoot your son in the back talking about he stole some water.
Bottled water.
Bottled water. Blow your son's brains out for a bottle of water. You understand? Like, this is what God warned us about, but the preacher never told us. Keep going.
The Lord, thy God, have chosen thee to be a special people.
No, God said he chose everybody. He did what?
Chosen thee to be a special people.
I thought all people were equal according to the Bible. What did he do?
Chosen thee to be a special people.
The Christian church told us that God loves all the boys and girls and children of the world. He said that we all equal. But they said that after 350 years of putting us in slavery. They said it after 400 years of cotton fields and whipping backs and 100 years of lynching, burning crosses on people's lawn. It never shocks me how people in Virginia, one of the oldest states in the original 13, be so shocked and don't know the history of the United States of America. Y'all supposed to be Virginians. How did you not know this? How did you not know this? You understand? Like, this is what the Lord was telling us. God made us a special people. Keep going.
Unto himself.
Unto himself. Meaning blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans belong to the God of the Bible. All people are not the children of the God of the Bible. Black man, black woman, Hispanic man and woman. Only these 12 tribes are God's children. These are the children of God of the Bible. Not all people, man. Keep going.
Above.
Where?
Above.
Equal to.
Above.
The same as.
Above.
Everybody's the same.
Above.
Above what, brother?
All people.
The Chinese man.
All people.
The Arabs and the Africans.
All people.
The East Indians.
All people.
The so-called oppressor.
All people.
God said above all
That's
people
right.
where?
That are upon the face of the earth.
No, brother, you making that up. God ain't say that. That ain't in the Bible. All people where, brother?
That are upon the face of the earth.
God said that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, he made us a special people above all people on the face of the earth.
That's right.
Is that why everybody does your dances on TikTok? Is that why everybody takes your music? Is that why Elvis Presley took rock and roll? Because black people showed him how to get rich and how to dance? Is that how they got R&B and blues and soul? Is that why a black man made the traffic light and Marie Van Britton Brown made the closed circuit security camera? Is that why a brother made the catalytic converter so these cars can function, and the cell phone and GPS and the dial-up internet and the fiber optic cables and the HDMI cords and the caller ID and everything else that make this world great and function comes from these 12 tribes? Because God made one people above all the other people that he created. I didn't make this up. I was just as shocked as you were. I didn't make this up. Don't be mad at me. This is what God said. God said this in the Bible. I want all you good Christians who go to church tomorrow, write this down Ask your pastor why God put Deuteronomy 7 and 6 in the Bible. I want every Christian to ask their pastor tomorrow why he didn't tell them that God had a favorite people out of all the people he put on the planet. Why didn't he tell us that? I know who would really need to hear that. You know who would need to hear that? Young black men who don't love themselves, so they go and kill their brother.
Right.
Young sisters who go and abort black babies because they don't know how they're going to survive.
Right.
Young brothers, young sisters and brothers that's destroyed, that's strung out on drugs, trying to cope with life in America. That's who really needs to hear this. But the Christian church won't tell us what God put in the Bible to relieve us. How evil is that, Yagadar? That's evil. Keep going.
Verse 7.
The Lord said, keep going.
The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor chose you because ye were more in number.
The Lord said he didn't choose us because we were more in number. You understand? He didn't choose us because we were the most. What do they call you now, black man? They call you a minority. You're the least. You understand? You've been here the longest, but they still call us a minority. The Native Americans were here first. So were the Mexicans. They considered them a minority. Then they got tired of playing games and they just went on ahead and just considered them white so that they could feel better about their numbers. You understand? Keep going.
Nor chose you because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people.
The Lord said because we were the minority. We were the fewest of all people. That's why. That's what the Lord said. We were the last nation to be created in the Bible. And the whole Bible is only talking about our people, and the preacher's been lying to us every single Sunday. Never told us the truth. Imagine how different life would be. Imagine all the businesses you would have. Your son wouldn't be selling drugs. He wouldn't be in prison for drug dealing because he'd have a business in the black neighborhood like the Chinese man has a business in the black neighborhood. He'd have a business. His mother would have nail salons just like the Koreans got nail salons in the black neighborhood. His daddy would be the one giving out the jobs instead of doing a bid in prison because there were no jobs. Like, this is a direct result of us disobeying the Most High. And you know what, Yagadar? When we turn back and obey the Most High and keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, then we'll learn to trust each other again. See, if you don't keep God's laws, how can I trust you around my family? You better not leave no Christian alone with your kids. Go watch Intervention. See what happened when you leave Christians alone with your kids. See what, ask the Pope. They got so many commercials about child molestation that they got advertisements on Instagram and Facebook like they advertising a new beer or a car because of all the child molestation happening in America. But if we keep God's laws, we won't have to worry about no more child molestation. You won't have to worry about no more murders. You won't have to worry about no more kidnappings, no more drug overdose. You won't have, guess what? Guess what happened? You won't have to be put into an old folks retirement home because you'll have so many sons and daughters, they'll be able to take care of you. You'll be able to live in your own home. You wouldn't lose your home to the state or the city.
That's right.
Because you can't afford the property taxes. You know why? Because you'd have all the money in the city because your people built the city. And then you'd be able to afford the property taxes and you'd never have to move out of your city that's filled with your businesses that are owned by your sons and daughters and mothers and fathers. You can have the same generational wealth that is passed down to all the other nations of people in our community. That's what God set up. But the church told us we didn't have to do that. The church told us we didn't have to obey God. We could do whatever we wanted. And here we are.
Right.
Here we are. 9 to 5 and a 6 to 10. Here we are. $20,000 in your retirement. That means you got enough to retire for a few months and then you got to get back out to work at 60 years old. If there are no emergencies, no medical emergencies, no cancer, no diabetes, no kids, no foreclosures, no job shortages, we in a hole. And we in this hole because the Christian church has robbed our people blind. Hundreds of billions of dollars. Black people marching to go down to the government. The Christian church has every penny that black people need for everything that we need. We don't need an official. We don't need a politician. We don't need no candidate. We don't need none of that. All of the wealth we need is sitting right in these churches right now. And everybody's pastor does whatever the hell they want with it, but it don't stop murder in Richmond. They are the problem. And this is what the Lord was telling us, man. Give me that Ecclesiasticus I had you hold. Drop that. Take me to Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 6. And I'm going to give it back to the brother, man. Like, this is what the Lord wanted us to realize. Like, the Christian church has not taught us that because we disobey the Most High, God would be against us. No matter how much education, how much degrees, how much savings, how much credit score, how much bank account, how much education you provide for your children. If you don't teach your sons and daughters to obey God, that is not going to stop God's anger from falling on our people. You understand? That's not going to help. Read what the Lord said.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners.
This is what's very important to learn about the Bible. What did God say, man? The Christian church has taught us God loves everybody. That no matter what we do, God loves us no matter what, man. This is what God actually said in the Bible.
And Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners.
This is what God said in the Bible. The Bible just said God hates sinners. I didn't write that. God put that in the Bible. What is a sin? To break God's laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
Meaning when we eat pork, what does that say?
The Most High hateth sinners.
When we eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, how does God feel about it?
Most High hateth sinners.
You have sex with another man's woman, how does God feel about it?
The Most High hateth sinners.
You murder your brother, you selling drugs, how does God feel about it?
The Most High hateth sinners.
You celebrating Halloween and Christmas and Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, prostitution and fertility holidays, how does God feel?
The Most High hateth sinners.
When we go and have interracial marriages that God said not to do, how does God feel?
The Most High hateth sinners.
You shave your face and get shape up in lines in your head, how does God feel about it?
The Most High hateth sinners. That's right.
Swear an oath and pledge allegiance to a government of another nation of people in their military, how does God feel about it?
The Most High hateth sinners.
We have never been taught that God hates sinners and he repays vengeance to sinners. That's why we keep getting killed. That's why our babies keep getting taken. That's why they're killing us. That's why we dying. That's why we full of cancer and AIDS and diabetes and we losing everything. Because the Lord is against us for how the church and the mosque has taught us to live our lives. Keep going.
And will repay vengeance.
Repay what?
Vengeance.
Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Will do what?
Vengeance unto the ungodly.
The Lord said he takes revenge against the ungodly. Like, it's very important for us to learn what God said for us to do. But the Christian church taught us we didn't have to obey God. And as a result, our lives have been absolutely destroyed. Our people have been absolutely destroyed.
That's right.
Because of the Christian church.
Right.
You can work your whole life, do the right thing, pay your taxes, go to school, get a degree. You understand? Don't cause any trouble, any problems. And the Christian church will tell your woman that she got a right to leave you. And your woman will sit and go to church, and the preacher will tell her God got somebody better. God got her blessed and highly favored. She unequally yoked because you don't sit in that church with her. And she will destroy the family. She'll take your kids. She'll take your house. She'll go to that court and file paperwork on you. And the next thing you know, you'll be back sleeping on your mother's couch. All your years of building your credit, all your years of paying your taxes, all your years of doing right as far as America decides, and the Christian church will teach your woman to turn on you and take everything from you, and you be left with absolutely nothing. That's what Christianity teaches our people. That's why it's imperative that all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans get in the ISUPK to fight against this evil. You understand? There's so much evil that's going on in our society, we don't even know how to fight it. We think marching and wearing t-shirts and lighting candles and praying in the middle of the street is going to fix the problem.
That's
The
right.
problem gets fixed when black, Hispanic, and Native American men get in all black, lace up their boots, get some hair on their face, and get into the ISUPK and learn how to fix our people. You understand? Time is running out for this empire. You may think that you got a sideline. You may think you got a sideline. Nobody expected that madness to happen. Some animal shooting up a damn high school graduation, man. That's a tragedy. Nobody expected to get killed at a grocery store in Buffalo. Nobody expected to go to church and end up getting gunned down by Dylan Roof. But God is trying to wake our people up to tell us that just being on the sideline is not safe. Just doing what you think is right as far as America is concerned does not make us safe, man. Brothers and sisters in our oppressors' military, in our oppressors' uniform, being a police officer, white security guards pulling guns on black police officers in full uniform. Why? Because the Lord told us we was never supposed to join another nation of people.
Right.
And he said he would repay vengeance to the ungodly. God is doing these things, man. And if we turn back and obey the Most High, then the Lord would protect us. And that's what